Alright, what is up guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Zodic, and today I have a little something I want to admit. So, unfortunately, Little Nightmares Part 3 is not going to be able to come out in the way that we're wanting. Neither is the ending, which I managed to play through in a full part, so there will be 4 parts to Little Nightmares 2. The downside is I was recording, and when I was at the end credits of the game, I realized that for both sessions, and I went back to look at the footage. Both sessions, part 3 and part 4, my mic volume was completely disabled, gone, nada, zilch. I had very little to no audio coming from me, so there were some times where you could tell what my reactions were, but game volume went through. Obviously, but for the right now, I'm gonna go ahead and say no to game volume, and you guys will see that here later on in this video. But yeah, and the reason, and a lot of people would probably be asking, like, so, I mean, you can just re-record that, right? I mean, you can go back to that position in the game, re-record it, and I'm like, yeah, but it's not genuine, it's not real, and when I experience something, I want to experience it how I want to experience it, and I don't want to, in essence, replay myself. That's not who I am. I'm the kind of guy who, all right, here's what happens, here's how I react, that's what's going to be on my channel. So, yeah, a little bit of, yeah. And it's not something, and I'll admit, I was frustrated at first because, like, dang it, I have to deal with all this. It's not going to be fun. But you know what? I'm going to utilize this and make it fun. So what I'm going to be doing is, there will be a transition here in just a moment that will be going to the gameplay. And just kind of, there won't be any audio in the gameplay. It will just be the video and my reactions, and I'll be talking about it. So, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so part 3, I was actually with my buddy Ryan, and we were going through the kitchen area where we're chased down by the chefs, and we exchanged some banter between each other. It was more of a, I kind of had a feeling it was going to be kind of the same pattern as what I thought it was going to be, with being kind of creepy to actually scary, to kind of creepy, to actually scary. It mostly led that pattern. It was more of just kind of like trying to get through it, and it was actually kind of frustrating because I like kept getting caught for like really dumb reasons. But there would be points where Ryan and I are like, wait, they did what? So majority of the kitchen was actually not terrible when it came to difficulty. It was still difficult nonetheless because you really had to figure out like where the chefs were and everything else. But managed to pull it off. I think it was about the 3rd, 4th attempt. But managed to get out in not as many attempts as I expected I needed to. So that was good. Part 4, part 4 of the game, but in the first half of part 4 was the guest area, where we really got to see the scale of this game and how, like, I mentioned it multiple times in the previous videos, but you feel tiny, you feel small, and like dealing with all the hunger pains and everything, all the craziness that went through, and some of the other stuff coming up, like eating the gnome, and then eating like a rat, like evolving to that point, which I think the order was you ate the rat first, and then you ate a gnome first, and then it came down to part 5, which was the lady's room, and like that's actually her name. She's just called the lady, and which was like the final boss of the game, if you want to call it that. And honestly, I was not expecting it to be that dark. I know there were some dark themes towards the beginning, and it was kind of like, okay, cool, we got out of that, we took down the boss, and then the final scene happened where Six took a bite out of the lady's neck and actually killed her, took her abilities, and then just started walking out like it was nobody's business, and on top of that, draining the life force out of everybody until she could get out of the maw. Kind of took me aback because it was like, okay, like I could see the progression, and I was like, okay, so like another one of those, like, I guess people were next, but I did not expect it to be the lady herself. And we can go into conspiracy theories about what the game was, but I'm not into that. I like doing that every once in a while, but specifically for this game, I'm going to leave that as is. Because the mystery of it was really cool. I liked how it kind of twisted and turned. And you were thinking, like, okay, she's going to be all right. She's going to get out. She's going to be safe. And it's like, yeah, she's safe, but who is she safe from? Kind of thing. So, with going through all that, like, it was pretty crazy. But I enjoyed this game. I don't play a lot of horror stuff. I'm not really a big fan of it. But what I can say is I'm a fan of the Little Nightmares series. It was good. It was kind of like Coraline, where it was like that, considered that like children's horror. So like there were things that were deemed kind of scary or dark or just off and weird. But I actually kind of like that genre. Not saying specifically children's horror, but how this was portrayed was done very, very well. And I'll have to say, my overall opinions, I give this a solid 9 out of 10. The only reason why I'm docking a point off and that it's not a 10 out of 10 is mainly because the control scheme. Yeah, mouse and keyboard. I tried a little bit of mouse and keyboard, like off camera, like in a place I've already been in, just to kind of test it. I didn't like mouse and keyboard. Using my PS4 controller was definitely a better option, but sometimes like there were things where like little bits. Actually, no, I give it a 9.5 out of 10 because the little bits that I had to deal with were very minute. It just kind of added up because it was like 6 was like trying to grab something, and it was like, no, my fingers are off the trigger to grab things, kind of thing. And of course, I didn't look at the control scheme either first episode until later on, so there was all that. But again, guys, if you are interested in this kind of stuff, or if you're starting to get interested in horror, this one is kind of good. There's a couple jump scares. There's a couple of like creepy like vibes, I guess, if you want to call it that. But like it's overall not scary. It's more just kind of creepy and just off-putting. But the creators did a fantastic job. The link to this game is on not on, but in excuse me, in the description of this video, because I strongly recommend it. It's a very good game. It's very well made. It gives you that good sense of scale on how small you should feel. It works. It really works. But that's really all I'm really wanting to talk about. But there will be some more highlight reels. Not mainly for this game, but for other games as well. And if it comes to a time where I have to do a discussion like this again, let me know if you guys like this kind of stuff. I want to be real with you guys, with my community, and I just want to show you guys I don't want to be some guy who is scripted. I was even tempted on even making a script for this specific video, but no, this is completely like off of my head, from my heart, and it's like there's no need to re-record, and it's gonna waste a lot of people's time, a lot of people's resources, and it's just something, it's not worth it. And it's not a bad thing either. I know my limits. My friends know their limits. But it works. So, anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this little tidbit. Hopefully you have enjoyed content like this. Once again, if you do, like and subscribe right now so I know for sure. Give me a comment as well if this was great, if this was stupid. I'd love to hear your feedback. And I'll catch you guys later. Peace.